of moving into the provincial house. There were 65 of us at St. Joseph's Convent in South Troy back in 1963, April, and we were all very excited at the privilege of being part of that historic event. 8 of us will now share with you what it was like those first few days and weeks as we became acquainted with our beautiful new home. Now the panelists will speak in this order, more or less as they're seated. Patrick Loretta will be first, and then Celine, and then Susan O'Connor, Marilyn Fian, Marie Bowe, Barbara Crick, Rosemary Hawk, and myself, Lamese. If you are unable to hear any of the speakers, please raise your hands. All right, let the show begin.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I asked to be first because every good story has a prologue. Our journey from South Troy began actually on April the 10th. That happened to be Wednesday of Holy Week. And we were to go on retreat that night. Retreat, our annual retreat, was to take place while we prepared to leave South Troy. And here's my story. Sister Verena called Sister Rose Regina and myself as we were going to school that morning, Wednesday. When you get home, get the station wagon, take it to Troy, get it cleaned, then go to Albany, pick up the retreat master. Father James Foley, S.J., was coming up from New York to give our retreat. So, Rose had in her possessions at that time an old violin in a case that was all battered. The handle was broken. She also had one of those Christmas candles we used to make, Puritan lamp. She wanted to take them home first before we went to the station. Picture, please. North Main Street, we're at a light. I'm sitting in the front seat next to her, holding the candle up under my chin. The old violin hanging down. Every car coming was just, that they were just gaping. Well, anyway, we finally got rid of the candle. No, first. We took the car to get it clean. This is the best part. We had to get out of the car. I'm hanging on to this battered old violin case, candle in the other hand. My scarf is wrapped tight around me, and I'm just standing there minding my own business. And all of a sudden, I saw one of the fellows looking at me like I was absolutely a loon. And I didn't realize, and finally I realized, Rose kept saying to me, "Patrick, put it down, put it down." Well, anyway, we finally got to the railroad station, and I went in. She didn't get out of the car because she couldn't find a parking place. No idea what this man looked like. But fortunately, he was all in black. Gets off the train, comes along, I met him, go out to the station wagon. I tried to get him in the front seat, being polite, but he said, "No, I'll take the back seat." So I got back in the front, he's in the back. We're driving along Broadway. We get to about the place where, in Manans, where, what's the name of that big department store that used to be? No, it doesn't matter. We had to stop for a light. All of a sudden, this car pulls up right next to us. And I look, Here's Sister Gertrude Mary peering at us through her window. Rose rolls her window down. She looked at her. She said, "What's the matter?" She said, "Are you all right? Are you all right? Is he kidnapping you?" Well, what happened was the priest had a black raincoat, collar turned up, a black fedora, and he was sitting in the back leaning over to us to talk to us. She thought he had a gun. Well, okay, we finally got the fella home. So we just said to him, "Father, it's going to be like this all week, so be ready." Anyway, that was the beginning of our retreat. That went on for 7 days. Every day, you'd look quickly before you sat down, make sure the chair was there. He learned that one himself, definitely. He would always look fast to make sure the chair was there. But we had a marvelous retreat. We really did. I remember his theme was discerning the Holy Spirit. There was one thing I remember he said then, and I've carried it with me ever since. If you are going to be doing something good for someone else, and you feel the Spirit is telling you to do this, that's fine. But if something happens and you get very nervous and uptight about it, it's not the Spirit. Think about it. And he gave a couple of examples. Anyway, it was a very good retreat, and it did get us ready to go. The last message he gave us was the day we left for the retreat. When he finished Mass, turned around to leave, came back to the microphone, looked at us and said, "Mother Verena told me to tell you all to pick up your pew when you leave." That's the beginning of our sojourn from Troy to Lake.